My name is Ayodeji Olushola Ogedengbe. I'm an architect, I'm an industrialist, I'm a furniture maker and interior decorator, amongst many other things. I'm the CEO of Art Deco Global group of companies, under which we have the Neolithic Consults, Art Deco Interior Limited, Art Deco Global Integrated Nigeria Limited, and so many others. It's good to have you today, and this is my story. Long ago, when I was young, I've always aspired to be an employer of labor. I've always desired to be a team leader, and I've always loved to be independent. But as fate could have it, I am from a very, very humble background. My dad happens to be of a lovely memory, a bricklayer. And way back as a young boy, we used to follow him to work, myself and my siblings. And so, as a smart boy while in school, I chose to study architecture. But way back, I knew deep down in my mind that I was then an inborn artist. I knew that I had an instinct in me that could make me more creative and identify myself in a crowd. And so I developed that instinct. I could remember my dad sent me to a fine art studio called B.A.O.K.U. Ishioton, and that was the beginning of my life. Because from there, as a little boy, I realized that it takes you to be learned, to be knowledgeable. If you are not learned, there's no way knowledge can come in. So I acquired knowledge in basic fine art, drawing, and some other things. And that was how my life began. I joined School of Architecture in Ambrose Ali University. As a little poor boy, I had to fend for myself with the little support my parents could give me. It was a difficult story. So in school, I realized that, it takes you to be running, to be in the same position in life. I realized that it takes you to be extraordinary, to become an exemplary person in life. So I did everything required of man to actually become outstanding. And one of them was that beyond the training of architecture, I knew that I needed to acquire other trainings in other fields of life. And along the line, in the course of our training class, a lecturer spotted that I could be a fantastic furniture maker. Why? Because I made fantastic models while in school. So that clicked into my head. And one of the things that assisted my thought process while in school was that I realized that as architects, all of us are going to be in the same industry. And I felt, what can single me out of that industry? What can take me out and make me an employer of more labor, or that will make my clients, my mates, wants to engage me in services. That was the story, because I needed something, knowing fully well that for them, there was a story that you must actually be from a very successful background to be a very discerning architect. That who will patronize you if you are not connected, if your parents are not connected. So that entered my brain, and I felt that I needed to create a line of engagement. Apart from being a fantastic architect, I needed something that will make my mates, apart from having been assisting them in school, doing some jobs here and there, or having been prominent in architecture, and there's something beyond architecture that will single me out. So after school, immediately during after my NYSC program, I engaged in skills of acquiring knowledge in furniture making. I could remember that when I was going for that training, I wore two-legged slippers so that my trainer will not identify me as someone who is cold, because I learned from the basic stuff. It's called Prince Ade Furniture Company. Is one of our big fathers around. And he accepted me. And my fear was that if he had known that I was educated, he might not have given me the privilege. But notwithstanding, he accepted me and gave me the privilege. After a while, after learning with him for quite a while, I proceeded to St. Joseph to actually acquire training in mechanized furniture training. After then, we started Art Deco interior. You know, there is a word I've said that we'll continue to say, that I should not despise the days of the little beginning. It took me almost 8 years to realize my interior dreams, but I never gave up. I continued to be persistent. I continued to be focused. I continued to believe that one day the enablement will come, the wherewithal will come to actually actualize my dream. So we started Art Deco, for those that know that story, from a very small scale. The process was rough, but thank God, the end is justifying the good means. How did we go about it? We went, after I left school, went through training. My wife has to resign, she has to resign from bank to join in the process. And she became a fantastic interior designer, despite the fact that she was a banker. You know, so we joined team together because she has acquired training both locally and abroad. And same I did. And we are still acquiring training there to ensure that we continue to expand our horizon. And today, Art Deco has become a global story. Art Deco had over 7 branches all over the southwestern Nigeria. But it started from that concept, idea of actually evolving ourselves in different line of training, acquiring skills in different areas of our endeavor. Beyond the local training, I went for international trainings in the UK. I went to India to actually understudy this art of making furniture. And today, we have a story to tell. And the story is a beautiful story.
Showglass Media International, set to be Africa's leading multifaceted media company, aimed at harnessing creative minds while hinging on the use of modern media techniques to create eye-raising moments, excellent managerial coverage, and narrative-changing content to individuals worldwide, as well as targeted media platforms, brands, agencies of government, and multinational organizations.
As part of Showglass Media's international efforts, our podcast platform, Things Upon Things, addresses the in-depth of societal issues, while our news and infotainment platform, Hourglass Updates, beams a spotlight on day-to-day activities, just as it is. Another creation of the Showglass Media International is our comedy content promotion platform, Biscuit. Visit our website and check out our content on our YouTube channel, Showglass Media International. We're creating the narratives.
So like I was saying, it was a very difficult and challenging journey. But here we are at a destination and we're still moving. For you to be a success story, you have to go through a recreational process. You have to be recreated. You need to evolve that idea of developing yourself. The youth of today believe in getting rich, a quick rich syndrome. And that is what is killing our society. Because we have not taken that pain to undergo a process of developing ourselves through difficult times and challenging times. Like I was telling my story, when we started, there are times that it was so difficult to even be able to trek from where I was living to where I trained. And it requires that you have to go through the process. You have to be able to humble yourself enough to learn. I learned through the process. My wife resigned and joined trainees. She resigned from I exalted position of a banker to joining trainees, probably those who are not schooled or who have not gone through the 4 walls of school. And same thing I did. Where I trained, I had people who were not as privileged as me to go to school. We trained together. And today, they also have a good story to tell. So for you to start up a business, it requires that you must be ready to humble yourself, to sacrifice and learn. If you don't acquire skill, Rome, they say, wasn't built in a day. There is no way you just rise up one day, get one quick money and put into a business and just expect, without learning through the intricacies of that job, understanding the pros and cons, understanding the rudiments of what it entails to succeed in that business. There is no knowledge without learning. Knowledge doesn't come artificially. You have to acquire it. And that process of learning is what I went through. And that is why I have a story to tell. So if you don't go through the learning process, there's no way you can have a success story. So today, it requires that our youth learns to actually ensure that they go through a learning process before even investing. There is no way you invest in a particular venture that you don't understand very well, and the venture will succeed. It requires you to be entrenched in the process of learning for you to be able to understand all the pros and cons, all it takes for such business to succeed. Let me give you a small story. When I've arrived and I felt that this business has succeeded, one of the things I must say was our value was that we never allowed diversification, a quick diversification, to destroy us. We were focused on a particular line of trade which we believed in, despite the fact that I'm an architect and I do other things. But we focused on the brand, which is Art Deco, and we continue to consolidate on it. So when it got to a time, I felt like I needed to diversify. And I want people to learn from my mistake. And I felt I should venture into farming because it was almost like a complementary part of our business. I need wood, I need to plant trees, I need to do afforestation for us to be able to harvest good woods in the future. But I didn't understand the process I didn't go through the school of farming and understand what it takes to farm. I was thinking it was the conventional way. We just acquire acres of land, put things together. We did not get a very good story from it because the training was not well entrenched in the understanding of the line of business. So it requires that you understand a business very well before you can venture into it, so that you, at the end of the day, you wouldn't have wasted your time and resources. One of the difficulty our youths are having today is that they lack that humility to be able to calm down, go through a process and understand the process and learn through the thick and things of the process. They just want to take money, get quick money, or take a loan, or get one source of fund and invest in business. At the end of the day, there is no way such business can survive. And when they come back to tell you, Nigeria is one of the most difficult places to do business. Truly, it is difficult, but it is for the strong in the heart to be able to succeed. If you are not you don't reinforce yourself with the understanding of the intricacies of any trade, there is no way you can become a success story in it. Look at the Igbos. They go through that internship. The internship program of Igbos are sustainable because it is from generation to generation. They keep learning in the line of their trade, and we should emulate them and see how we can actually use this process to develop a very good industrial base for the southwestern economy. We need it, as I join all of us, to continue to activate for us to be able to get the acquired skill that is needed for our sustenance and survival. Thank you.
Are you in search of affordable yet quality office, home and outdoor furniture to serve different purposes? Then look no further. Art Deco Interior and Furniture Limited is the ultimate brand you have been searching for, ranging from office chair and table, dining set, luxury sofa chairs, Chesterfield sofa, hall and church chairs, transparent chairs, banquet chairs, outdoor furniture and garden seats, saloon furniture, student desk and writing chairs, bookshelf and cabinet, gaming furniture like snooker, table tennis boards, and many more. Visit us at any of our branches in Agumbelewo, Alekuwodo, Fakunle, Oshumol, Oshugbo, and Ile-Ife, or call us on 0803-510-5891. Once again, 0803-510-5891. You can also browse our extensive collection online at www.shop.artdeco.com.ng. Elevate your living space with Art Deco, where style meets sophistication.
So once again, my name is Architect Ayodeji Olushola Ogedengbe. I'm the CEO of Art Deco Groups of Company. I want you to join me in the art of acquiring training in various skills of your interest and endeavor as you continue to activate. I wish you the best as we celebrate the World Youth Skill Day. Please keep activating.
I've been a fool, I've been a fool.
Welcome to Activate 2023. My name is Ogedengbe. We'll be taking you through a workshop training on furniture making. And the topic we are going to be dealing with today is craftsmanship and design, elevating furniture making through traditional and contemporary techniques.
My people, how una dey? I wan show una better way where you fit dey buy your data all day. No stress, no wahala at all at all. Them call am Meda Pay. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. Subscribe your GoTV, DSTV. E go shock you like electric shock. You fit even buy airtime, dem go reward your savings like you never lack. You fit buy MTN, Glo, Airtel data just for shikini money. Yes o, na so jollificate we dey o. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel.
We'll be talking about craftsmanship designs. And what if we are talking about craftsmanship, what do we mean? Craftsmanship is an act of acquiring a skill in ability to innovate, create ideas, and come up with something that can be useful and applicable for human endeavors. So craftsmanship can be acquired through application of different skills and trainings in different line of endeavors. There are many areas of craftsmanship. One of the areas of craftsmanship which we are dealing with today is furniture making. Craftsmanship requires that firstly you must actually have had an intent or interest in a particular line of trade. You don't necessarily have to be talented in it. You only need to have actually developed an insight. Talent is not everything anyway, but it's required. So where talent is not available, then skill acquisition is the requirement. When you have acquired skill to actually take up a line of a service or a training, then it makes the job easy for you. And how do you acquire training in craftsmanship? Firstly, you need to put up an interest in a line of activity that you want to indulge in. And having acquired interest in it, then you need to look for a particular place where you can acquire training. If you are not trained, there is no way. You cannot wake up today and say you are going to become a furniture maker. You cannot wake up today and say you want to become an interior designer. You need to acquire adequate knowledge in it. And so if you have found a place to acquire such knowledge, then you will be taken through the processes. Now, in the next few minutes, I'll be discussing the processes for those of us who want to activate our interest and want to indulge ourselves in the act of furniture making and interior designs. And what are the first steps that has to be acquired? You know, talking about the contemporary and the traditional ways of making furniture. You know, in those days, in the ages, what were often done is that woods will be felled and they will be pierced into shapes and they will be merged together to process a furniture item. But nowadays, the process has become so advanced. There are still crude methods of making furniture. One of the methods is by actually piercing your wood using manual handsaw, then putting it together using nail to connect them, and probably using your spreading machine to just take it off, or hand tools.
Showglass Media International sets to be Africa's leading multifaceted media company, aimed at harnessing creative minds while hinging on the use of modern media techniques to create our-racing moments, excellent managerial coverage, and narrative-changing content to individuals worldwide, as well as targeted media platforms, brands, agencies of government, and multinational organizations.
As part of Showglass Media's international efforts, our podcast platform, Things Upon Things, addresses the in-depth of societal issues, while our news and infotainment platform, Hourglass Updates, beams a spotlight on day-to-day activities, just as it is. Another creation of the Showglass Media International is our comedy content promotion platform, Biscuit. Visit our website and check out our content from our YouTube channel, Showglass Media International. We're creating the narratives.
Yeah, talking about design has to do with innovative ideas towards creating unique items. When you come up with a particular item that you think of bringing out, probably you want to design a table or you want to design a chair, it requires that you go through what we call a thought process. The process of thinking is the first thing that has to be looked at when you are coming up with design. And in most cases, you go into sketches, you want to bring out using freehand to actually develop an involvement of that concept you have actually thought of. And the process requires that you jot down whatever you have thought of as an idea and you come up with a sketch of that particular item. And that's what is called design. There are different ways of carrying out designs. Designs can be carried out probably by combination of ideas on what you have seen before. Probably you have seen a particular item before somewhere and you want to actually evolve on it. You know, there is nothing that you want to think of that has not been created at one point or the other. You are only developing on it and you're only advancing on something that someone had actually developed before. And so the process of design could actually culminate from a particular design that you have seen before, probably that is not totally functioning properly, and you are trying to advance it to make it more functional. Another way of actually conceptualizing is initiating a unique thought process. Ideally, there are individuals who are blessed with intents and purposes of being able to initiate unique concepts or ideas. They can just dream it on their own and come up with something. So that process of actually coming up with it is conceptualizing, which will manifest in design when it is already put together in black and white, probably in a sketch form or any other form. So that's design. Having discussed design, you know, you would have known, if you have the talent of actually coming up with designs on your own, or you want to capitalize on what you have seen someone done somewhere and you want to actually develop and evolve it to become something very useful. Now, you have to resolve these two kind of methods to actually know which of the patterns of knowledge are you actually pursuing. Now, if you want to actually take an endeavor in any of these line of duties, then you should know that you have strength in one or the other. You should be able to decipher between yourself which area of interest are you actually indulging in. But firstly, like I said, the first thing that has to come up is the intent and the purpose of indulgence. Are you developing an interest in a particular line of trade, or you only want to just probably because others are doing it? One of the things that actually disturbs development of ideas is if you are doing a copycat, probably because you see someone doing something. If you don't acquire a skill in a line of duty, there is no way you can be an expert in it. If you can think of it, you can be sure that you can create it. Firstly, the first idea to be involved in development is thought. When thought can be developed into a cumulated idea, the substance can be created. There is nothing you want to create that someone has not created before. So, but your idea is to actually develop on what someone has created to evolve a unique substance that can be quoted after your existence and name.
My people, how una dey? I wan show una better way where you fit dey buy your data all day. No stress, no wahala at all at all. Dem call am Actifate. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. Subscribe your GoTV, DSTV. E go shock you like electric shock. You fit even buy airtime, dem go reward your savings like you never lack. You fit buy MTN, Glo, Airtel data just for shikini money. Yes o, na so jollificate we dey o. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel.
So talking about the techniques that are involved in furniture making, we have the traditional techniques and the contemporary techniques. And when you are talking about traditional, we are talking about the old age method, the prehistoric ages of a method of actually making furniture. In those days, woods are, like I said before, woods are felled, and when these wood are felled, they are combined together using ropes or different methods to actually put them together to form substance that are being used for sitting, for sleeping, and for other purposes. In those days, different items are used as furniture, and I think we are evolving, going back to the old ages, and we are developing those ideas in new ages. That's the ideas that evolved from the old ages. We're actually bringing them up in the new ages now. You're talking about granite, stones, talking about woods and some other ideas that were put together in the ages to actually bring comfort to themselves. Don't forget that the idea of creating furniture is, it evolves from making man comfortable. It evolves from comfort, having to have things that will make you comfortable. Man cannot be standing all his life. You have to create something for man to sit, for man to sleep, for man to be comfortable one way or the other. And as we develop time by time, we are trying to acquire skill in bringing more comfort to ourselves. And that is the process of actually advancing towards the contemporary method. Talking about the traditional method, there is no contemporary without traditional. The ideas of development and technology evolve from the manual way of doing things. If something cannot be done manually, then it might be very difficult to run it technologically. It's just like somebody who can drive an automatic vehicle very well might not have innate insight into a vehicular movement if he doesn't understand the manual runnings rather than the automation. So sometimes when you are going to develop a training or you are going to acquire training in a particular skill, it is often better to operate it from the manual to the technological. So talking about the manual making, you know conventionally that one of the ways of making furniture is to just cut the planks together. Everybody knows that in our technical drawings of those days, you cut planks into different sizes. They are often calculated in inches or in centimeters. And when they are pierced into different dimensions, they are connected using nail, and they are put together in different heights and forms to form either seats or bed or tables or whatever that you are thinking of. Now, but having been using all these things, man has found out that it is beyond, furniture making should be beyond just creating something for comfort. There should be luxury attached to comfort, and that's why technology is now evolving into various ways of making furniture in an advanced form. And one of the methods is by ensuring that furnitures are made in large numbers, they are faster in production, and they are neater in the line of deliveries. So these are things technologies are brought in, and that's when you now talk about machines. Man is made for machine, and machine is made for man. The advent of machines has brought about advancements in development of furniture. What we require 20 men to deliver, a single machine can deliver it within a short time. Now, there are various machines in our workshop that are used for those various operations. One of them is a cross cutter. Like the machine we are seeing over there, this machine, instead of using handsaw to pierce your wood, all you need is to just operate it, and this machine can cut as many wood as possible within the shortest time. There are various machines that can make holes. There are various machines that can cut wood into sizes. There are various machines that can plane woods. There are various machines that can sandpaper. There are various machines that can actually cut woods into shape. There are various machines that can spray woods. These things were not available before, but they have been brought for to ensure that furniture are delivered in a very beautiful way. The furniture that used to be produced about 50 years ago cannot be compared with what we are producing now. Number one, in terms of quantities of delivery, you can be sure that with the use of all these machines, you can deliver large quantities of furniture within the shortest time. And another thing, like I said, is the finance of delivery. You can be sure that when you apply machines, the impossible will be made possible, coming up with various finishes, various impossible angles, and line of deliveries. So that is what advancement in technology has brought to the table.
Are you in search of affordable yet quality office, home and outdoor furniture to serve different purposes? Then look no further. Art Decor Interior and Furniture Limited is the ultimate brand you have been searching for, ranging from office chair and table, dining set, luxury sofa chairs, Chesterfield sofa, hall and church chairs, transparent chairs, banquet chairs, outdoor furniture and garden seats, saloon furniture, student desk and writing chairs, bookshelf and cabinet, gaming furniture like snooker, table tennis boards, and many more. Visit us at any of our branches in Agumbelewo, Alekuwodo, Fakunle, Oshumol, Oshugbo, and Ile-Ife, or call us on 0803-510-5891. Once again, 0803-510-5891. You can also browse our extensive collection online at www.shop.artdeco.com.ng. Elevate your living space with Art Deco, where style meets sophistication.
Thank you for joining us on Actifate Symposium 2023. Don't forget that we're discussing furniture making, and the main topic is craftsmanship and design, elevating furniture making through traditional and contemporary techniques. Yeah, so we have discussed contemporary and traditional techniques, and we want to see how the two of them are related. And so what we also have to know is that there is no advancement without the first thought of process, which is beginning. There is always a beginning of an advancement. And it is said even in the Quran and the Bible that you should not despise the days of the little beginning. If there are no beginnings, there will be no advancement. And so we have to, whatever we are doing, we have to start from the smaller perspective to higher perspective. And one of the things that we need to emphasize there is that the manual aspect of furniture making is still very, very important, as that is the key way to actually start into advancement. If you don't know how to start things small, there is no way you'll be able to manage it big. And you can actually recall, for those of us who attended technical drawing class, you remember that they started with us on dimensioning and few elements using tools, the various tools like also we have a hammer and all sorts. So there is no company that operates even on a large scale that doesn't have the manual tools. That means the manual line of operation is very, very germane to furniture technology advancement. So taking it from the manual, if you want to understand furniture operation, you have to start from the ABCD of furniture making, which has to be done with the dimensioning, the type of wools, the type of the type of nails, the type of gums, the type of materials that are being used in making furniture. Don't forget, there are now very many types of furniture, and there are very contemporary ways of making furniture, even that you may not even necessarily use wood. From the days of the old, you are also aware that steel is also an element that is being used in furniture making. Now, nowadays, breaking it from the old days, those steels that are being used for construction are now used as hybrid furniture in contemporary architecture. Most of the most beautiful furnitures are not made with metals. You have a combination of metal and wood to actually come up with an advancement. I will show you some examples of what I'm talking about. You will see how wood and steel has been brought together to come up with a beautiful furniture piece. There are furniture that you'll be wondering how one has actually thought of this process, how the process has evolved. And that's why I've mentioned before that design is key to furniture making. Where there is no design, there is no productivity. You have to come up with a design idea which has to do with, okay, this is how I want it done in a very simple way before advancement can come into it. So that's the relationship between the contemporary and the traditional. It is an evolvement from a manual, a crude means of doing something to a very technological and advanced means of doing it. But the combination of the two is what is bringing us the best of products that we have all around today.
My people, how una dey? I wan show una better way where you fit dey buy your data all day. No stress, no wahala at all at all. Them call am Actifate. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. Subscribe your GoTV, DSTV. E go shock you like electric shock. You fit even buy airtime, dem go reward your savings like you never lack. You fit buy MTN, Glo, Airtel data just for shikini money. Yes o, na so jollificate we dey o. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel.
So thank you for going along with me in the line of this training, and I hope you have actually learned one or two things. Like we have said today, let's have a recapture of all we have been discussing. Firstly, we mentioned craftsmanship, And like I said, interest is key into everything. You must actually determine your area of interest and develop an interest in a particular line of training before acquiring skill in it. If there is no interest, there is no success. The interest is the key thing. So after you have acquired interest, then you must develop that skill, the craftsmanship, the art, the ability, the enablement, the wherewithal. These things are required. If you don't have that wherewithal, there is no way you can have delivery. So firstly, you need to develop that craftsmanship ability. You need to be able to design, acquire basic skills in design. Then after that design, you must actually acquire some basic training in furniture making. So how do you acquire training in furniture making? You join teams of establishments where furniture can be made, or where good furniture are being made. And having said that, one of the factors affecting our society today is that the quality of skills that are required for production is lacking. And that's why it appears China is advancing over every other continent of the world. You can see the advancement in their line of technology. It starts from the youth, and the youths are evolving various concepts and ideas on a daily basis. You see them keep developing new ideas in one skill or the other. The fact that you have graduated, you went to school to read so course, doesn't mean that you cannot acquire a skill in a particular line of duty of interest. I must say of interest, because you must develop an interest in it. Today marks the World Skills Day, and that is why this is being discussed, to ensure that we enroll, recruit, encourage our youths to involve themselves, to develop skills in various lines of activity. But my own interest is furniture making, and that's what I'll be discussing with you in the last 30 minutes. So join the train, join the line. Let's continue to build our world. Let's continue to evolve new ideas. Let's continue to create concepts that resolves man's problem. Because if you are making furniture, you are resolving a particular line of problem, which is creating comfort for mankind. And this time, it has gone luxurious, because you can create comfortable and luxurious furniture for mankind. So, what are you doing today? Wake up and take up a line of duty and a line of interest, so that you can bring in livelihood to yourself, so that you can stop complaining about unemployment, so that you can stop joining the train of the unemployed, so that you can start recruiting, so that you can start employing, so that you can start feeding yourself, and beyond personal feeding, so that you can start feeding your world. Thank you so much for waiting with me and for listening to me. I want to believe you have actually acquired a lot of knowledge, and I want to believe that if you want to advance it, all you need to do today is to just decide, pick up an interest in an art of craftsmanship, and let today be a day of reckoning in skill acquisition. And God bless you as you do so.